I want to say, you can look at me, it's okay. This is not the picture of the Matrimandir. I want to say, this is not the picture of the Matrimandir. I want to say, I want to say,
Hey, ini pura.
yeah? Hold some photos.
Ini pura.
One at a time. Hold some photos. One at a time. They don't need me to hold some photos. One at a time. They don't need me to It was one poem now. Yeah, only one poem. Yeah. And after picture. Yes, it's okay. Poem. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And now, you cannot keep now because we are going to see the film. And after we keep that, you can keep one photo and after we okay? And now, you cannot keep now because we are going to see the film. And after we keep that, you can keep one photo and after we okay? And now, you cannot keep now because we are going to see the film. You can keep one photo and after we okay?
Power வந்துருச்சு லைட் இதே ஒர்க் ஆக மாட்டேங்குது இந்த மைக் செக். அப்படி இல்லைன்னா உங்கள் மைக் செட் பண்ணணும்டா நீ ஒர்க் ஆகலண்ணா. இதே ஒர்க் ஆக மாட்டேங்குது திடீர்னு செக். அப்படி இல்லைன்னா உங்கள் மைக் செட் பண்ணணும்டா நீ ஒர்க் ஆகலண்ணா. ஏன்டா இது ஒன்றும் நவுறவே இல்லை செக். அப்படி இல்லைன்னா உங்கள் மைக் செட் பண்ணணும்டா நீ ஒர்க் ஆகலண்ணா. ஏன்டா இது ஒன்றும் நவுறவே இல்லை செக். அப்படி இல்லைன்னா உங்கள் மைக் செட் பண்ணணும்டா நீ ஒர்க் ஆகலண்ணா. செட் பண்ண. ஏன்டா இது ஒன்றும் நவுறவே இல்லை செக். அப்படி இல்லைன்னா உங்கள் மைக் செட் பண்ணணும். ஏன்டா இது ஒன்றும் நவுறவே இல்லை செக்.
Hello, check. Hello, hello, check. Hello. Okay, Anna. 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 Hello, check. Hello. Hello. Check. Hello. Check. Hello. Hello. Check. Hello.
ஆனா இது இருக்காது.
Hello. Hello. Check. Hello.
ஆனா இது இருக்காது.
Hello. Check.
செக்.
ஆனா இது
போ அது
இருக்காது.
அது பிடிங்கி விட்ருப்போ.
இது அங்கே வச்சுட்டு சரௌண்டிங்கில் ரெண்டு விட்டு அங்கே பேசுகிறோம் வச்சுட்டு.
ஓகே. செக். போ அது பிடிங்கி விட்ருப்போ.
ஹலோ.
ஓகே. செக். போ அது பிடிங்கி விட்ருப்போ.
கேக்க. ஹலோ.
ஓகே. செக். பேசுகிறா. போ அது பிடிங்கி விட்ருப்போ.
கேக்க. ஹலோ.
ஓ ஹார்ட் சத்தம் கேட்குமா?
Hello. Check.
நான் கேக்குறேன் அப்பாட்ட.
செக். பேசுகிறா. போ அது பிடிங்கி விட்ருப்போ.
கேக்க. ஹலோ.
போயிட்டு ஓ ஹார்ட் சத்தம் கேட்குமா?
Hello. Check.
ஹலோ. நான் கேக்குறேன் அப்பாட்ட.
செக். பேசுகிறா. போ அது பிடிங்கி விட்ருப்போ.
கேக்க. ஹலோ.
போயிட்டு ஓ ஹார்ட் சத்தம் கேட்குமா?
Hello. Check.
ஹலோ. நான் கேக்குறேன் அப்பாட்ட.
செக். பேசுகிறா. போ அது பிடிங்கி விட்ருப்போ.
கேக்க. ஹலோ.
போயிட்டு ஓ ஹார்ட் சத்தம் கேட்குமா?
Hello. Check.
ஹலோ.
செக். பேசுகிறா. போ அது பிடிங்கி விட்ருப்போ. போயிட்டு ஓ ஹார்ட் சத்தம் கேட்குமா?
Hello. Check.
ஹலோ.
செக். பேசுகிறா. போ அது பிடிங்கி விட்ருப்போ. போயிட்டு ஓ ஹார்ட் சத்தம்
Hello. Check.
ஹலோ.
Hello. Check.
ஹலோ. And I can't speak like and I can't speak like
Yeah, I think we will.
Okay.
The AV media has come. So they are not coming. We will. The AV media has come. So they are not coming. What? So do you want me to also sit down beside you?
you can as you want. It's your life.
Good evening and a very warm welcome today. So a real pleasure to have Anandi, B, Jose, and each one of you.
Good evening and a
The
very warm
idea of
welcome
bringing
today.
this together was to bring what was called as Matrimandir, the privilege,
Anandi, B, Jose,
the
and each one
experience of
and
those
a
who
very
have
warm
been
welcome today.
associated in contributing and seeing Matrimandir coming up.
the privilege.
It started off
B,
with
Jose,
Anandi
and
having
each one
this
of you.
beautiful
Those
book
who have been
that
associated
she's
and
written, where she's captured the photograph and written short poems, and of course me and Josie being here to share their experience. So we thought we'd just put together a small intimate gathering of people who could come here, listen to why Matrimandir is a privilege, the experience of being at it. So we will start with screening the movie. It's an 18-minute video which says Matrimandir, the privilege, and then we have B, Anandi and Jose having their own conversations of what was their experience like there. And I think Anandi will read a couple of poems along with the photographs that she shot. And we can just have a conversation, and if we have our own experience, feel free to share them. So that's how the evening is going to be proceeded. Thank you for coming. And we can just have a conversation, and if we have our own experience, feel free to share them. So that's how the evening is going to be proceeded. Thank you for coming. And we can just have a conversation, and if we have our own experience, feel free to share them. So that's how the evening is going to be proceeded. Thank you for coming. And we can just have a conversation, and if we have our own
On 28th February 1968, in Tamil Nadu, South India, 12 kilometers north of Puducherry, a new city was founded on a barren plateau. The founder, Mira Alfasa, known as the Mother, called the future city Oroville. The Mother invited to Oroville all those who thirst for progress and aspire for a truer and higher life. Where the integral yoga developed by Sri Aurobindo would be put into practice. The center of the future city would be the Matrimandir, the shrine of the Universal Mother, a place for concentration and for developing in oneself a new consciousness. The Matrimandir will be the soul of Oroville, said the Mother in 1970, and the sooner it is there, the better it will be for everybody, especially for the Orovillians. The Mother chose Roger Anger as chief architect. In Tamil Nadu, South India. On 28th February 1968, in Tamil Nadu, South India, 12 kilometers north of Puducherry, a new city was founded on a barren plateau. The founder, Mira Alfasa, known as the Mother, called the future city Oroville. The Mother invited to Oroville all those who thirst for progress and aspire for a truer and higher life. Oroville was conceived as a living laboratory, where the integral yoga developed by Sri Aurobindo would be put into practice. The center of the future city would be the Matrimandir, the shrine of the Universal Mother, a place for concentration and for developing in oneself a new consciousness. The Matrimandir will be the soul of Oroville, said the Mother in 1970, and the sooner it is there, the better it will be for everybody, especially for the Orovillians. The Mother chose Roger Anger as chief architect. The Mother's vision concerned mainly the interior of the inner chamber and the inner skin. In her vision, the chamber will be a kind of hall, with 12 facets, 12 columns, and at the center on the floor, her symbol. And on it, The four symbols of Sri Aurobindo joined together in a square holding a globe made of some transparent substance. The ray of sun will strike this globe. There would be an opening for the ray to enter. No windows, no pictures, no flowers, no religion.
The construction of the Matrimandir, located at the center of Auroville, at the geographical center of Auroville, is a necessity for the city. It is a necessity in the sense that it represents a connecting link between the inhabitants. It is difficult to compare it with the significance of the cathedral in earlier cities, because Auroville is not at all a new religion, so it cannot be a temple either. It is the expression of the faith of the inhabitants towards what represents the common ideal.
At dawn, on the 21st of February 1971, the foundation stone of the Matrimandir was laid. It was the third element completing the centre of Auroville, the model of which was presented for the first time on that day. The three elements are the banyan tree, the urn where the city was founded, and the future Matrimandir. Over the weeks and months that followed, a handful of Aurovillians, Ashramites and friends dug into that red earth on an area roughly marked as the excavation site for an immense crater 10.5 meters deep and 50 meters across. Despite all their efforts, the work did not go quickly enough, and people started to seriously question whether those few Aurovillians could build the Matrimandir themselves. Piero, an architect from Italy, wrote a letter to Mother after carrying out a detailed study of the work to be done. It would be necessary to rely on paid labour, while keeping some specific tasks, such as concreting, a priority for the Aurovillians. The work was relatively simple. Piero had enough experience to assess that the work could be realized under his direction with the help of an engineer's office in Chennai. The proposal was approved by the Mother. It was decided to hire Tamil labourers from the surrounding villages to speed up the process. Beginning in November 1971, around 400 labourers began removing the earth bit by bit. By February the 21st, 1972, the excavation was complete.
A stone was laid in the base of the east pillar, bearing in Mother's handwriting the date, 21st of February 1972, the Om symbol, blessings, and her signature. It was the symbolic beginning of the construction phase.
In this way, as the work has advanced, the soul of Oroville has gradually become more and more manifest.
Par
Feel free to share them.
For a truer and higher life.
You say it.
For a truer and higher life.
Would you like to talk to the man in the center? You say it. Me? No, I'm going to talk. She has nothing to say. Okay. Okay? It's okay now? Yeah, you can. Well, looking at this video is sometimes, no? Looking at this video is sometimes very difficult to think that we were building that, no? Because it was really something, most of us, we were not coming for be workers, no? Students or university people or city people, and we find ourselves, I don't know, sometimes I think that really she was pushing us, because if not, would be not possible. And she was there, no? Very powerfully. The silence that was in the Matrimandir working there, only the noises of the work, but no voices. Now we talk all time, no? No, it was a powerful silence, and I tell you frankly, this for me is something. It's a privilege that I could do this, thanks to Joss, because these were the time more important of my life. Was the time living in the Matrimandir camp and working in the Matrimandir. was very, very special and very, very unique, no? Yeah, I'm very grateful for that. Okay.
Well, Anandi has written a little booklet. She's called it The Privilege, and she has enclosed some of her poems and photographs. And this event actually was part of the Art for Land, and this video was selected by Mandakini in France for us to see. And Josie has come from, she is from AVI International in Netherlands. And we want to honor Anandi, who actually, this is her event. And all these years she's been writing her poems about Matrimandir. I remember back in the camp in the old days, you see we had a very unique group of about 20 to 25 people living next to Matrimandir in this thatch huts with the termites and everything. And it was an incredible time that could only have happened because there was another force at work. And we know that the mother has spoken about Matrimandir as the aspiration of humanity for the divine, but it's also the divine's response. And somehow we got selected to be part of this group, and that's the privilege. And it gave incredible meaning to my own life personally. And I would also like to invite anybody here, if you have any questions or comments. We don't want to have a formal lecture here or anything like that. This is a conversation among friends, and people have come from all over at this time to see what has happened, and we know that we're in a very critical period in evolution, and that the Matrimandir is a key where we can connect with our psychic being and move forward. So we have to understand that sometimes in Oroville we take the Matrimandir a little bit for granted because it's there, but it wasn't always there. And the days we were there in the sun working on it, 37 years for one building, I mean, it's pretty outrageous. And in those early years, we wondered, can we do it? There were many, many obstacles, lots of infighting, all sorts of things happened. But I always remember working on the ramp. That ramp, you saw it in the film. That ramp was impossible in some ways, but we built it anyway. And when we were there grinding the pipes and sticking it together, I was always thinking, people are going to be walking over this bridge. They're going to be walking right here where I'm drilling. And I have to make sure that it stays together. But also this understanding that the bridge between the worlds. So Matrimandir is so totally symbolic, but still it's real. And how do we bridge that in our understanding? How does that, and it works, I think, on the body, more on the mind. It's an energetic place. As Roger said, it's not a temple, it's not a cathedral. I always think of it as a kind of cyclotron or a particle accelerator that changes the cells. And gradually we became more and more connected to ourselves and the sources. So it's such a wonderful experience, and I don't know what I can add to, what you already know and what you've already seen. I just brought along my little book that Ruth Lohman wrote, He was a close friend of mine, and he wrote this little book, which probably most of you have read, The House for the Third Millennium. And he articulated some of the wonderful, you might say, spiritual possibilities of it from one perspective, but it's universal. So all the symbols are there and everything for anybody. Anybody can come there. And because I do these little tour groups, take them into Matrimandir, people for the first time, they very often afterward they say something, you know, about what happened to them. And most of them are totally amazed, you know, they didn't think such a thing was possible, that this kind of place does not exist on Earth. They usually use these outer space or spaceship kind of metaphors. They don't know how else to speak about their experience that they have. But many of them have very profound experiences, and this, of course, has a huge effect on the Earth. And we talk about human unity. It will come as so many of us experience, whether we have the Matrimandir or not, that spirit is starting to pervade the whole planet. And that's why I think things are in such disruption now, because we have to break through into the next phase. So,
you made me think of something. Luke, he has an office, and when we were there at the beginning, the people were coming from the Chennai road, walking, looking for Auroville and the Matrimandir. It was just dust and nothing, no? And I asked him, I would like to have a little room where at least one cooker with water and some information. And Ruth made me near his office one that was the first information room. I think that Mauna after was working there when I left. And I remember the people were coming, but really full of dust, no? From Chennai Road till here. Where is Auroville? Where is it? It's here, no? Because you see the photos and you imagine the Matrimandir and a lot of things, and when you come, at that time was nothing. Now, now it's a lot of things. And I remember in one tour that I did once a week, it came one cement architect, a lady from France. And she looked at me, how did you do that? And I showed we have two machines, no? One to put the things up and the other to mix. And she said to me like that, you did this with these two machines, this is going to collapse in 2 years. Didn't collapse yet. It was very interesting because she was so sure that it couldn't be this too much time, no? And it's still there, no? Yeah?
Still there, yeah.
You have something to say. Yeah.
You wanted to read something?
Yeah?
No, go ahead.
No. Yeah.
Okay.
This is the lady for we can do that.
Thank you. We are here to honor Anandi for, first of all, her work at digging in the Matrimandir, which was a very magical time. And there was quite a pressure during the work, which I read in the books of Ruud Lohmann, who was a Dutch pioneer working at that time, also at the Matrimandir. And I'm happy, B, to know that you also knew Ruud very well. And here's the connection with AVI Netherlands has sponsored a beautiful collection of poems and pictures made by Anandi. She was one of the key persons helping in the Matrimandir. And the theme is the Matrimandir. It's the soul, and particularly in the time of COVID, the pandemic time, I thought what is more important now than paying attention to the soul, which is going to protect the earth. Also during this pandemic. So one of the things that we wanted to support as AVI Netherlands was to make a beautiful collection, a beautiful book. It's all made by hand, by Prisma. And I love the poems of Anandi because there is such a really touching your heart silence in the words. She's so precious with how she's using the words. And so the words as such are like a journey coming in your heart. And so I'm very grateful that she has managed to make a beautiful gift. And the benefits for the gift are meant for the acres for land. So you are able to buy a gift or to give it to your friends or to order. It's even possible to place an order, let's say, of 20 books or more, and we can make a second edition, because the first edition is only 20 copies. The next thing we also supported as AVI Netherlands in the framework of the importance to focus on the soul for the future growth for humanity is a story written by Ruud Lohman also. It is called Inian. It's also about working at the Matrimandir and the magic, what was happening there. And Aurelio has made the production, and the film has been made by Srinivasam, and Aurelio is going to launch it in Auroville probably in the next weeks. And so I recommend you to go there also and see from another part, from the Tamil perspective, how they were involved and how it was related to the symbols they had and to their legend, and how Inyan was the key person who remembered to have learned a story from his over grandparents that there would be a relation between the Matrimandir and the very first time the humans came on Earth in Lemuria. So at that time in Lemuria there would be a kind of transformation center where people could be transformed exactly on the place where Matrimandir is built. And that's magical. That's also the impact of the Matrimandir on the people who live here. And the mother said, the sooner the Matrimandir is finished, is achieved, it will be important not only for the whole world, for the growth of human consciousness, but also for Auroville itself. And so I think those are the two things that are offered to us, and I'm very grateful to Anandi that she started during her 40s when she arrived in Matrimandir, making poems and building, and now she has this booklet, which is a great gift to all of us. So, thank you, Anandi.
Yeah, I have to say that I always felt that the Matrimandir was building us, was not that we were building the Matrimandir. But I didn't have the word, and Jean Pugo has a fighting with one Russian in the Matrimandir, and he said, to build the Matrimandir was a privilege. And look today. When he said that, that was resonating in me, and I wrote that poem that is called The Privilege. I have to say to him, that really it was his word. I mean, that really touched me, because it was really a privilege. It was really a privilege to that. You could come here and see that we can pass. Where the boys are? Ah, they went, no? Ah, we can put the poems also there. Yeah, yeah. You put the first one. You could read this one. Big. At the end, no? Better? At the end, at the end. After to see the poems. I think so. I think so. Yeah, after the poems, no, we can talk, yes. Yeah, but after the people can come and touch, and I mean, where is the one that I want you to read? Is it this, no? No. And the one, yeah. Next, yeah. Yeah, no, the one before, yeah. No, the one before this. The first one. The first poem. Did you got it? No. Matrimandir, rose and cement. You didn't get it. I gave it to you. I gave you. Where is that for you to read? No. Matrimandir, rose. Take it with me. Okay.
I saw it. He passed it.
No, it's not this one. Rose and cement is the first one. Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. I want him to read it because this is one of the persons that helped me with the English. I wrote in Spanish. I'm not an English writer. And he, Constance, and Roger Toll were the one that they were helping me with this translation. And for me, it's one word there that I couldn't get in Spanish. It's very powerful. How can I say that the light inside was moving? And I couldn't find a word in English. And B got dovetail line. I didn't know that this word exists. Could you read it?
The poem is called Rose and Cement.
Ah, God. Boy.
Gray perfume stains our hands, a strong sweetness. The future grows, and in a dovetailing of
Suns.
what's that word?
Suns.
Suns. And in a dovetailing of suns, a ray is caught. Eternity, seed of fragrant steel.
The gray was the cement in the house, and the rose is the one from the ashram, and I still use it. For me, it was a mix of my rose perfume with the cement in my hand. Oh, sorry. For me, it was a mix of my rose perfume that I still using from the ashram, mixed with I came home and there was the cement in my house. And this poem is that. It's a mix of the rose and the cement in the hands, yeah. Is another one you want to read? You have the book here, yeah? Another, no, I want you to read one more. And after I read the privilege, that is my real poem. What is that? Why you don't read from here? Why you don't read from here? Awakening, this one, Awakening.
Which one do you want me to?
Awakening.
This poem is called Awakening. As though born today, unprepared, without a past, in a swarming sound bath, thick in white whirlwinds, awakening in a golden uproar and new tomorrows.
I would like to read with you this. They are very, very bright. Huh? To the last one, to the Matrimandir workers. You read the first part and I read the last part, okay?
You're going to read the last part?
Yep.
What do you want?
You start here.
Yeah? All the way.
Here. And after you read it.
Oh, yeah, you read the last part. You read some.
Okay.
Okay, this one is to the Matrimandir workers. We fly about you to make you luminous, even more luminous. We embrace you blissfully, our soul. We were birds to build your body, and now we embrace you. Once again, we fly about you to make you joyfully possible. Almost 40 years later, today, before dawn, we could feel a first hesitant word of the future. Profound, puissant, coming out of your womb, coming out of your womb.
Yeah, sometimes it's like when you go down where the water is, that is, for me is my favorite place, you could sometimes feel. I would like before you go, there is a bookmark that you could take, yeah, from with poem. I would like to read only the privilege, and after you can come and you can look at the bookmarks, and you can do what you want. No tengo los anteojos. I need the glasses. The privilege of building you, of feeling you growing in my hands, of smiling the wind as I climb, listening to the silence resounding in the soul. A privilege, yes, to be at last from thy center someone. I want to say something. I have two real photographers. This is from Manohar. He allows me to use this photo. I tell you a secret. I was working in this garden. You remember it was not like that. 2 years. And now somebody with money came and said, I'm going to move everything and we're going to put these stones. And I was so furious with that. And after I saw this photo, and I got friends with the thing, and I said, Manohar, I'm going to use it in my book. Yeah? This comes from Brazil, these stones, but I didn't like because we did a lot of work and, no? Okay. Anyway, that's a reveal in the world also, no? And I wanted to say, well, And this is from Paulette. Paulette has beautiful photos, beautiful photos. And this is my place. Behind the Matrimandir is this Bodhi tree, that is a sacred tree in India. I do my Mudrachi every day there, and it's my place. And this photo is fantastic, no? You could put that? The last one, yeah. And she gave me the permission, because she's not an easy one. She gave me the permission to use, no, this is me. There it is, yeah. Coming very tired, but I look so well. Yeah, okay. The last one, the last one, the tree. Yeah. Yeah? The young girl. The last one. The last one. Yeah, but don't read that. Last. Anyway, the people that get these first 20, they get also one leaf from this tree. I put it in the book, okay? Yeah. No? We don't have. I didn't know, sorry. Okay, it's this one. You can see it here. And this is the leaves on the tree. This is only 20, and they are very expensive. We have sold already some, because it's just for the land. But after we are going to make more nice for everybody. But these are just 20 numbers signed and, no, with all the things. And well, some people want this. It's unique, yes? Okay, thank you for coming. You can come and look, and you can take one bookmark, and if you could give something for the land, anything, okay. If not, you take one poem of my bookmark, okay? Thank you for coming.
Does anybody want to ask anything, or anybody want to make comments?
Well, the books. Yeah? Any comment, any question? Everything was so clear.
Everything was so clear, yes.
We don't have egos.
So thank you, everybody, and thanks to Sudha for organizing everything.
Thank you. Thank you for coming, really. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
manual.